G&T show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discussion is advice. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Star Trek, The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the G&T show. Our continuing mission, to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Naomi Wildman. I was setting it up. Oh. Welcome to the G&T show, where obviously we have no script.
Yeah, let's just get this puppy started.
As always, the beautiful, the lovely, the high-booted, short-skirted, big-breasted Terry Lynn.
That would be me. Admiral Shaw.
She's badass. It's Ceridian.
Good morning. It's Sunday on the G&T show.
You know the worst part of this morning? It's not the getting up early. It's the fact they're making me wear clothes to do the show.
It's time for coffee clutch.
Strap on your helmets, boys and girls. It's gonna get rough.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those mornings.
Let me put on my seatbelt, my helmet with the little blinky light on top.
For safety.
When we decided we were going to do the G&T show,
Man.
one of the things we said was no standards. G&T show does not go on the air because we're ready. It goes on the air because it's 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Mike could have snapped by then and killed us both. Pain sticks for Mike, evidently.
We have our production meetings on the air.
Well, it's the best way to get you to adhere to things.
Yeah, you've now set an expectation. That's the thing about the G&T show is we set no expectations.
I need more coffee.
Wow,
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to do general news or Star Trek news, and I figured
This is Terry having a series of small strokes, actually.
Boy, it doesn't take long for this show to deteriorate, does it?
straight the fuck downhill.
I don't always podcast, but when I do, I G&T.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the G&T Show, episode 154. I'm Terry Lynn.
Joel on True, bitches. It's Gettysburg 7. My left, your right. There she is, as you can see. Although the ice pack on top of her head is not because of a cold. Let's just say that, okay? Terry, you should have a little scotch or something, a little hair of the dog.
Oh, no. I haven't even made coffee yet.
Oh, dear God. Well, it is Alan brewing the coffee. Yeah.
I don't
If you thought Janeway was bad without coffee, here's Terry Lynn.
Well, and then to my right, your left, there he is, well rested. His armor's all polished up. He's looking mighty spiffy today, Ceridian.
Kapla. How's everybody doing today?
And then to my half right, your half left, there he is. I'm not sure exactly what he's wearing. It looks like the doorman's coat from the Big Ben. I don't know. It's Midnight Shadow.
Oh, it's a Beefeater costume.
A Beefeater, that's it. Yeah.
I've got to dress up smart for the show.
Hi.
Someone's got to set her.
Oh, it's a very fuzzy hat. A very fuzzy hat.
Oh, that's his hat. I thought it was a growth. I just didn't want to say anything.
Wait a minute. I thought they weren't supposed to talk.
That's a good point, Mike. That's an excellent point, Michael. Now, Terry, before we start the show here in earnest, I have to ask a question because we never got to tell Mike something, and I don't know because last week was shooty time. If you got to tell him, did you tell Mike what happened in the elevator at Vegas?
No.
Why don't we open the show with that, ladies and gentlemen? Heavyweight champion of the world, Terry Lynn.
I ended up for those people who didn't get to hear, there was an incident at the elevator at the Rio on my way to bed. I was very tired, and as Nick will tell you, there's a point. It's kind of like a tipping point with me. When I'm good, I'm tired. It means I need to go to bed now. There's no pussyfooting around. And hell hath no fury like me when somebody gets in my way before I need to go to bed. So Alan and I are walking back. God, who else was with us? Oh, Jim Cushman. Cushy, thank goodness for Cushy. I just saying, both Alan and Cushy helped. We got to the elevators, and the elevator door opened. And as the elevator door opened, a guy walks out, but he's holding the arm of a woman, a young woman, and who was rather petite. And to say that he was just holding onto her arm is not putting it strongly enough. He was pulling her arm out of her socket. And she did not want to leave the elevator with him. She's like, no. And she was screaming, no, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to go. Leave me alone. And he's pulling on her arm saying, you come with me or I'm going to leave you. Right. Which to me, right. Exactly. What kind of a threat is that? Oh, so the tipping point was reached very, very quickly. So I pulled him apart. I took his hand off of her arm.
Oh boy.
And he started to get all yelly, you fucking bitch, what do you have to do? And we put the girl, now mind you, we all jumped. All I wanted to do was get into the fucking elevator. I was like, I just want to go home, and I don't want you to hurt her, kind of thing, right? Already done. Now he starts to yell, and that's when a super voice came on, and I yelled at him, and I probably want to say that everybody in the masquerade bar heard me.
Oh my gosh.
And essentially telling him to back off or...
No, say what you said.
I don't remember what I said. I said, fucky, fuck, something like that. I remember. I was loud.
I thought you said, your mother sucks dicks in hell.
It was kind of like that. All I know is that the guy threatened me, and I lurched forward. Cushman pulled me back, and the guy threw a punch and nicked my lip.
What?
And the door shut. I couldn't hit him back. He missed me. But he pulled, because he was such a whiny bitch. He was such a pussy boy. So, yeah, I really, really, really wanted to hurt him. And I'm really, really glad that Cushy and Alan held me back, and then the doors closed. Because the guy threw the punch as the doors were closing. I know.
So, Mike,
for
for those keeping score at home, Terry has instigated a bar brawl in McFadden's that resulted in broken beer bottles, and now she started a brawl on the elevator. But yet, I'm the one they say causes trouble.
I'm a big troublemaker.
Are you sure you're not part Klingon?
And notice this, Mike.
Even Cushy said that.
Notice this, Mike. Both incidents are in years you couldn't be there.
Well, I guess, the convention needs a certain level of Klingon,
No, there's more than enough Klingon walking around at the convention. More than enough.
It was funny, but so
it was sad that AJ and I had to be excited because there were 5 Romulans there.
Oh,
that is a shame, though.
No, they're there every so often. The Rommies show up. I call them stealth. They're just stealthy.
It's true.
They're cloaked.
They are cloaked.
Every now and then somebody will just pick up a card and walk away, and all you see is a card. And
floating.
You're floating along.
No, they just dressed as something else because they're hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's good.
They're all undercover, really. That's kind of how I think it. I mean, it's like Nick. Nick's the only reason why you'd know Nick is Romulan is just because he has a tattoo.
That's true.
But he didn't wear a Romulan outfit.
That's because I don't want to put on the prosthetics. I will next year, or definitely in 2016.
He was he was walking around in a scant, so he was undercover for Betty's.
At least part of him was.
Speaking of the scant, Mike, I have an inside baseball question for you.
Okay.
You know what that means?
Yes, I think so.
Just a question about something related to the show.
Okay.
So I read an email that you sent us yesterday.
I send many emails. Can you
I'm aware. One that you I'm in the wrong email thing. Hold on, I went to the wrong email.
Does that mean I need to wake up and say something?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Let's play some elevator music. Oh wait, I'll get Terry up.
Thank you.
The totally lovely Janet, not to be confused with the lovely Janice, sent us a social media report.
Yes, and I have replied to her questions. And
No, and it's amazing. I love the fact action items are in italics, like being back at work. And she's awesome. For those that don't know, Mike, why don't you go ahead and explain who she is for those that may not know who may be new to the show?
You see her whenever I tweet something that she posts on our forums. Jespa, she's currently studying to become a social media guru, and she has volunteered. Okay, I begged and I pleaded, and she agreed. She relented, and she's helping.
Oh, really?
Us out.
Is that how it happened?
Something like that. We can't. I'm under I can't. I can't. Explain the details of her contract, but. She's agreed to help us out, and she has been revamping a lot of our back end and fixing all the bad, naughty stuff that I've done that no one sees.
The behind the scenes stuff.
The behind the scenes stuff.
Well, she's doing an amazing job, and we can't thank her enough. Now that she's going for her master's, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, under the YouTube section, I read this, and I don't know of what she speaks, so I have to ask you.
Okay.
Post images would be good, and not just of Nick taking a scan.
Oh.
I love her. She rocks.
She wants us. She wants a trailer. So hey.
Oh,
there's an idea.
What's
contest idea, possibly.
A what?
Contest idea.
Oh, for an image?
No, what we need is a very short YouTube trailer with our intro as the music or the background, and then whatever you want to put on screen. Oh, I should be very careful saying that.
Yes.
Yeah, you should.
Please,
Michael. You know our listeners. You know what they'll do.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Somehow we'll have G&T XXX going on.
Yeah. No.
No.
But that might be something worth looking into for a contest idea. Just thinking here out loud on the air.
Maybe.
But
It's not bad.
But that's what she wants is a short little trailer for our YouTube channel. So
Okay.
What length do you want it?
I think we have.
Steve's already done with it. Our audience moves fast.
We don't even know if we're gonna do a contest yet, and Steve's already done.
It's like,
Actually,
how long do you want it?
I do need to make a quick announcement. Some of our listeners, if you do not have or do not yet have a Hollow Lita DOF from the conventions and you want one, just drop us an email. Let me know. I have plenty to go around, and I'll be happy to give one to you. They were unable. Yeah, they can't. They're because they were dated on the print for the Star Trek convention. Cryptic can't use those again, though they handed me a big pile of them.
We had 3 stacks of them that they gave us?
Yeah, so if essentially we have plenty to go around.
What do you
Well,
mean by
the print,
dated?
no, the code isn't dated, but the print ad is. So they can't hand them out at another convention because the print says Star Trek Las Vegas.
Oh.
So
I see.
they handed me a bunch and said, if you can give them away, that would be great. So
Yeah, we had
I
a couple
have
of
a boatload
stacks.
of them.
Truck Radio had a couple of stacks.
Yeah. So and I'm not even going to ask anybody to do anything for them. If they want one, let me know. I'll give them the code.
And you can look cool to everybody else because you can earn the title convention veteran without ever having gone to the convention.
Easiest contest ever.
Ever. Just
I mean, if you like free stuff, people, this is the contest for you.
Assuming you don't already have it.
Right. It is an account. It is an account-wide unlock. So
I still want them to make an in-game T-shirt that says, "I went to the con and all I got was this lousy T-shirt."
Michael,
what? I think that'd be so cool and hilarious.
It'd be very meta.
No, it'd be meta if they had a convention in the game.
That would be meta.
That'd be cool.
That'd be funny.
I'm just thinking about it now. Where would you have it? Ryza. Ryza's the Vegas.
Totally at Ryza.
Of Star Trek.
Q would have to be involved somehow.
Well, Q could bring Tim Tams.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
Oh, well, we don't have.
Q could be the Larry Nemeczek at the Masquerade Bar.
I love it.
Speaking of which, Mike, did I tell you that I was one of the winners of the trivia contest at
No.
at the Masquerade Party? Yeah, I was.
Right on.
I won. I won a beautiful Glue Guns and Phasers travel mug that
I saw a picture of the travel mug.
Yeah, that I won that, and I won a copy of the DVD of Eve of Destruction starring Gregory Hines. I'm not sure how that was Star Trek related.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I don't get it either.
But I get to have Mary and Connor staring at me every morning. So, there's worse things in the world.
Star Trek news? I am so proud to be a talkie geek.
We've got our problems with the film, which we'll get into on our dopey little podcast and nitpick it to death.
Star Trek news?
So congratulations to the always dreamy David Mack.
There's Legos?
No.
Star Trek news?
Yes, the story behind the story. The movie that never was made.
They got a Klingon!
I know.
Sold.
You playing Klingon? That's right, I'm gonna throw in a Buck Mackay rookie card. That's right, a Buck Mackay for people. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Star Trek news?
Well, we don't have a whole lot of Star Trek news.
There was something big though, right? He was actually named the director.
Did they? I heard that they still haven't. I heard that still wasn't.
No, I saw something that said he was formally named.
Was he? It didn't come up. Let's find out. Either way, in the meantime, while I look that up, I will put a link into the chat room. The big news for Star Trek.
What the hell is that, Mike?
I came across a photo concerning, I suppose it's the new movie. It is 2016.
Oh, it's not true. That's fan-made.
Oh, it's not true? Okay,
it's fan-made. And the guy who made it won't cop out to it, but I totally called them on their shit in the room. I'm like, do you know what A New Dawn is? The New Dawn is the working title for Episode 7 of Star Wars.
Oh.
New Dawn is also the name. Most people don't realize Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2009 became Operation New Dawn.
Movie.
It became Operation New Dawn because of the new Iraqi government and everything. So, yeah.
It's also a Twilight movie, isn't it?
As a matter of fact,
Breaking Wind.
Breaking
No.
Dawn. Breaking Wind and Pissing Dawn.
Well, either way, this morning we have some great news for the people over at Star Trek Axanar. They have reached their $600,000 stretch goal.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
They have 3 hours to go.
And it's still going up.
Oh, yeah. It's the final minutes here, people.
So, congratulations, Alec, and everyone else. I know that you got a lot of people supporting you because I think George Takei tweeted it.
Oh, yeah,
he did.
So,
and that just apparently, let's see, last time I had seen it was kind of sort of hovering around 147, 140 or 400,000, somewhere in that somewhere around 400,000, and then almost overnight, just bam, 600, and it's like, wow. And considering that that's what they were asking or hoping to achieve over two fundraisers, and they got it in one.
Yeah. That's great.
Doesn't
So
it just go to show how much fans want new Star Trek? Why can't CBS get this?
I really do believe, although first off, I'm looking at JG and he's wearing that uniform that we had at our place. The reason I believe it exists that way is because I think CBS is kind of on you will not make new Star Trek. It was part of the agreement when Paramount decided to do the movies. So I have a feeling that there's some kind of a carve back agreement where CBS isn't allowed or has agreed not to make a television show until after the movies have all been released.
So we won't. They'll be
I don't know if that's true or not. It's just
maybe.
What's that? After 2016, I think the doors are going to be open. My fear, however, is that the show that we see will be JJ-verse, if we see anything.
Well,
I don't know. That's my gut. My gut is telling me that.
Michael Dorn isn't giving up on the Captain Worf. I'm just saying.
None of us are giving up on anything. If you notice,
sorry, I was just watching. It just came across my feed. Summer Glau taking the ALS Ice-Bucket challenge. She was so adorable. Sorry.
No, that's all right. And
no Captain Worf show. How about this? How about Star Trek Romulus? And I said that staring into the distance, just so you know. I tilted my head up and to the right and stared off into the distance. I literally did.
I think it'll happen. I'm just not sure what variation of it will be, how it'll go about. I have a feeling that
I think it's going to end up being something like Star Trek 90210 or something.
Yeah, that's a little frightening. I admit it. We'll see. Who knows?
Still
Maybe
think
it'll
an idea
be
like a Star Trek West Wing would be cool.
I don't disagree. Like the Articles of the Federation, right?
Yeah.
Very awesome.
It'd be nice if whoever...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve.
I say it would be nice, as CBS commissioned the books, is for them to tie in any series with what's been happening in the actual novels, because they've done a huge amount of work with those, and it is all commissioned by CBS.
I know. It would be great. I have to say, I would love to see the political, all the political ramifications of everything that occurred in the Typhon Pact in the fall. That'd be
realize
pretty amazing.
That if people were actually listening to us right now in any kind of large number, there would be such hatred towards us for loving this idea.
I know.
I know. What I would
because it would mean Picard's spawn exists, and I have to say I wouldn't be thrilled with that, but whatever.
What I'd like
can always
to
be
see
killed off.
is like a bunch
Just give him
of
to David
little
Mack.
cable network Star Trek shows. 13 episodes, a couple of them. One could be political intrigue and drama. The other one could be something a little bit more lighthearted. A game show starring Pac Lids or something. I don't know.
Just something to make it go.
I'm convinced that Pat Sajak has become a Pac Lid. I'm just saying that. He so hates his job and the people that he has to deal with on the show.
Yeah.
I watch just to see how much he doesn't want to be there.
I actually introduced myself in a work meeting as being the pack lid of the company. Somebody said, describe what you do. And I said, I'm not like a pack lid. I just make things go, and you can tell the other people who actually watch Star Trek because they all laughed.
That's how you can figure it out. You just take it that way. I like it. So I'm not finding anything about a formal announcement of
where did
the director.
Are you sure you didn't dream it?
No. Why would I dream that?
He has a point.
We wondered about a lot of
No, I am being fair to him, Terry. Much like I'm giving after the conversation that you had with some people.
Right.
I'm being fair.
Yeah. We're going to give him... No, I'm with you. He's the one who keeps coming out saying, I'm the Star Trek fan. I'm the Star Trek fan. We're going to bring it back home. We're going to... And I'm thinking, okay, now's your chance to prove yourself. And if you blow it, I'll never speak to you again.
I just put a link in chat room.
Yeah.
I saw these, and I immediately thought of our friend Jim. So
the Ferris Anomaly needs those.
Yes, they're Star Trek quote shot glasses. It's a 4-pack. One's got a picture of Kirk, set phasers to stun. Is the quote. The Spock one says, highly illogical. The McCoy
was that your attempt at sounding like Spock?
No.
Okay.
The McCoy one says, I'm a doctor, not a ... And then finally there's one of the Starship Enterprise that says space.
And it's got the old Gold Key comics.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's what that art is. It's the old Gold Key comics.
Very cool. So yeah, the link will be in the chat room. Check those out.
All right. So the only formal announcement of anything for Star Trek is that the draft of the first draft of the script is now complete. That's what was announced. And Orsi's and allowing Orsi to take control of Trek, but there's nothing here that confirmed that he was going to be directing.
Oh, we may not have a lot of our listeners because Napa County area got hit by a 6.0 earthquake.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe a lot of our normal listeners from out in that area are kind of shaken up because that's gonna. Wow! Look at all that wine. Look at all that wine on the ground.
It's in California. Everyone's still sleeping. I don't think anyone felt it.
No, 6.0 they felt, honey.
Yeah, this is the largest earthquake since '89. Oh dear, there's buildings that are, wow. 2 aftershocks reported so far. Breaking news here on the G&T show.
When was this?
This morning.
Yes, 3:20 local time, 6.0.
So
well,
3
to our
hours
friends
ago.
in Napa County in the Bay Area, please, our thoughts are with you. Looks like a couple of homes were lost.
Yeah, they're showing video on TV, and it's like a liquor store or something, and every bottle is on the ground.
Oh,
yeah.
6.0 is pretty big. If anybody has never been through anything larger than a 5.5, you can tell the difference. When a 6.0 hits, you tend to freak out.
Well, I can tell you, if you've never been through one and you have a 3-point something like we had, it shook up it cracked the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
So all the people in California were laughing at us. Oh, that's not an earthquake. Really, it cracked the Washington Monument. To me, that's something.
Yeah.
I'm still undazed. I mean,
let's see, Vallejo.
I'm
Santa Rosa.
3 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
3 hours from there. You know,
yeah.
I'm close enough to feel them. You know, not close enough to really experience any issue. You know, but you know, it's like earthquakes happen. I don't want to say all the time, but you know, every so often they happen, and it's like it's I don't know. For me, I'm not trying to
but you are
belittle their thing, but for me, it's no big deal. I mean,
no, this is some pretty devastating stuff here, Mike.
Okay.
In Napa, yeah, there's buildings that are brick buildings have fallen down, and homes have burned.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Plus, Mike, you thought at 3:30 in the morning, you just thought it was the blood wine.
It probably was the blood wine.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of blood wine,
right now the reporter's standing in like a 7-Eleven type thing. The entire floor, you can't even see the floor. That's how covered with everything that fell off is.
Wow. Well, moving the show along a little bit. Speaking of blood wine, the lovely Jennifer Usellis. She is the young lady who put together the He-Chop Klingon pop music video, which is the parody from what was it, Kiss Me? She sang the song completely in Klingon. It was totally awesome. Well, she has a Kickstarter out to create an album, and as of right now, she's over the halfway mark. And this is a project that I really want to see happen. So please, please, please support it if you can. She wants to, the initial offering is
Sorry,
to
just
create...
saw Britney Spears Hit Me Baby one more time.
Yeah, she wants to do 4 songs initially, more if she goes over. But there's the Sixpence None Richer Kiss Me, which she wants to do, you know, the professional remastering. So that one is the Hit Me Baby One More Time, which is totally a Klingon song based on the lyric, the title. Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On." Now that sounds interesting. As it
Klingons love their opera, and that's a very operatic type song. So.
Exactly. And then she also wants Disney to do Disney's Frozen "Let It Go" in Klingon. I mean, wow.
That would be fun.
And then for some of the stretch goals is she wants to do Lady Gaga's "Bad Romance." Pat Benatar's "Love is a Battlefield." Come on,
that's
gotta
perfect.
make that one happen. And then she wants to some of the other ones are involve some of the packaging and CD duplication. I was told that end of September she is going to be in the studio. This is going to happen. Now the only question is whether or not she makes her goal. It all has to come out of her pocket. I do not want to see that happen. So please help her out. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Well, she's doing well so far. She's $750 away from her goal and still has 41 days to go. So, but
I think it's doable.
Yeah, so she's got stretch goals for 4,500. So
I would love to see somebody translate the Logical song by Supertramp into Vulcan.
Yeah, that'd be funny. That would be funny into Vulcan. Has anybody ever heard the Vulcan?
Yes, in Star Trek 2, remember, Spock and Saavik spoke Vulcan.
Yeah.
Right.
And also in Star Trek the Motion Picture.
I think Romulan is more developed than Vulcan.
I think you're right. Although, Mike, there was a girl, I'm trying to remember who it was. Is it Heather Bart? Is it Heather? Has the most awesome Vulcan calligraphy tattoos.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah. Visually, the Vulcan language is just amazingly beautiful. It's vertical. It's kind of this
circular and scripted. It's very pretty.
Yeah,
it's loopy.
It's just awesome. It's just awesome. So that is pretty cool. I do have some more Star Trek news.
Great.
Before we get into that, Nick, I had seen a video of you doing the ice bucket challenge.
Yes, I was challenged by Texas Trekkie girl, also known as Dalek Chick, to do the ice bucket challenge. So I took it and I did it.
Well, that is awesome. Congratulations. I'm happy, that you were, I'm not happy that you were soaking wet in frigid cold water.
But you know what? It was like 85 degrees with like 50% humidity, so it was a good night to do it.
Right on. Well, speaking of which, you're apparently in good company because Shatner, Stewart, and Takei also participated. I put a link in the chat room that has their various videos. And I have to say, the way that Patrick Stewart handled his, classy. Very, very classy. I liked it.
Did you see the Benedict Cumberbatch one?
No, I have not.
I'm going to tell you, he made me laugh out loud.
I heard it's very funny. Here,
I'll have to look for that one.
You can find it at StarTrek.com. Head over to StarTrek.com. It's like the first link in their news page is Benedict Cumberbatch ALS Challenge. From what I understand, you have to watch it all the way through to the end.
Yes, you do.
Okay,
and
awesome.
Two that really, one that I just loved because of the way it was done, and then one that made me laugh, believe it or not. The one that I really love the way it does, Man Crush on Neil Gaiman continues. He's in California, so because of the drought, he got the water. He's on the beach, so they got water out of the ocean to do it with. And as he's walking and talking, and there's 4 women dressed as Death from Sandman, and his wife, Amanda Palmer, she loves being naked, but she had a stepbrother that died of ALS. So when she did hers, she did very classy, and she stayed clothed. Well, Neil Gaiman starts off wearing a suit, and by the time he reaches the 4th death, he's just in his boxer briefs, and then he gets doused. And just Neil Gaiman, he's
That's
the
so
best.
Cool. Right on.
And then the one that made me laugh out loud, believe it or not, Tom Cruise.
Really?
He's sitting there with a friend of his, and I want to say like 15 people come running by with buckets, and he just keeps getting doused. and it was actually really funny, and I was like, man, I hate myself for laughing at Tom Cruise in a good way, not in the normal way. But I mean, it was really hilarious because at one point somebody just walks up with a bucket and just throws it in their face, and the guy sitting next to him's like, this is never going to end.
Did you guys see the Old Spice one that I posted on?
Dude, that was hilarious.
Awesome. Isn't it great?
I love the special effects on that.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm sorry.
Mother of pearl.
And then
I got the Superman pose the entire time.
Yeah, so great.
The last ALS challenge one that I want to point out with the Star Trek link is David Gerald's. He's in California, so instead of ice bucket full of water, he got dumped by a bucket full of tribbles.
Aw, that's cute.
That was very cool. So so check out some of those videos. Hopefully, I'll track down the Old Spice guy because that's a must see.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page. So if you need the link, Mikey, you can go from there.
Yeah, and find the Cumberbatch one.
And the Cumberbatch one,
that one I already have.
That's StarTrek.com. That's good. And speaking of StarTrek.com and a nice little new link, there's a wonderful little blurb. I don't even want to call it an article. It's not really an article. It's a blurb regarding the upcoming e-novella written by Paula Block and Terry Erdman. And I want to say this is their first time doing a fiction release because they've always acted as like editors or on
Paula Block and who?
And Terry Erdman. Their writer. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. They've written multiple books, but I want to say this is their first fiction. They've done nonfiction before, but it's their first like fiction release. Now they also wrote a whole bunch of other stuff, but I will put the link chat room if I can find the chat room. And
while you're doing that, let's see, something game related. Star Trek Trellix has released a new update.
Oh, Trexels?
Yeah, Trexels.
And they got rid of their price. It's free now. They went free to play.
But it's still iOS only.
Right.
So I still can't participate. Get on, make an Android one, and I'll check it out. Just saying, but that's cool. So new update there if you're an iOS person or user. Check out Trellix.
ENG material into Star Trek Trexels. So check that out. Again, it went free to play, and it is for your iPhone or iOS. And let me think. Is there anything else? I mean, I want to get back to that info on the book real quick. Did I put it in the chat room? I did. Yeah. So it's an e-novella for Deep Space Nine, and it's called Lusts, Latinum Lost and Found. So it's got
Quark on the cover. That is a nice cover. The DS9 station, I think, is starting to grow on me a little bit.
I grew to like it after reading the first full book.
I'm still not there yet. I'm still not there. My brain says the design don't work. The design does not work. How do the ships? Why have these big arcing?
Because they were incorporating the original design. They said that.
That was the tribute.
But how did the ships? Now the ships can only connect on the outside of those arcs.
Yeah, whereas before the large.
That's what the arcs were for.
We're able to connect, at the top of the pylon.
So how does something as big as a Galaxy class?
Why would it need to? That's why they have transporters.
Shuttles.
Or shuttles, but...
True. But it's a space station.
But
right.
If you think about...
How did they dock at K7? They didn't. There's nothing there to dock at.
Space too.
And the only ones that dock at ESD are the ones that have to go inside for repair.
Well, isn't that what Deep Space Nine is for?
They probably
to actually act as a repair station and to support the ships.
Well, in DS or in the fall series, didn't they say that there was a separate shipyard?
Yeah.
So
how did they get in?
Needed. No, it's a separate facility. We haven't actually seen a picture of it.
Oh, it's actually separate.
Okay,
I didn't realize.
Like Utopia Planitia is separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole shipyard portion, is a separate entity. So it's not. We haven't seen what it looks like yet.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Because there's no reason to say that, a bit like in Enterprise, when they docked with other ships and things like that, there's just not somewhere. There's a hatch in the ship which just connects to the whole of the space station.
Well, really, that doesn't... If you look how the Defiant docks, and then you look at the Defiant, are they walking out through the deflector array?
No, they're walking out through the bloodsucker part.
Yeah, the deflector array.
No, the deflector array is under the bloodsucker part.
I always had the impression that that nose section where the deflector is,
where the bloodsucker part is, yeah,
the bloodsucker part. I always had the impression that it kind of moved out of the way a little bit to reveal the docking port. But I don't know. That could just me,
it's
retconning.
And the other thing that kind of cracks me up is that people don't realize. I think that that's the other. Don't get me started.
No, go ahead. This is the geekiest Trek conversation we've had in a while.
I know it's another one of those times where I look at something and it blows the perspective. I mean, the Defiant is only supposed to be 4
like 4 or 5 decks.
It's 4 decks. Yeah. It's 4 decks, and either DS9 isn't big enough, or it's just never. Still looks like a tick. Does. It totally looks like a tick. It needs it's even worse because even the little spot on the back makes it look specifically like a Rocky Mountain spotted tick.
Interesting. That's funny.
So yeah, I'm happy for Paula Block and Terry Erdman. Congratulations. Looking forward to downloading it. It
looks fun, for sure.
It does look fun, and a nice e-novella coming out. And it looks like it's being released, November 1st.
Oh, right on. Right around the corner.
Right around the corner from Simon & Schuster Pocket. So, yay. Download it. It is ebook only.
Yeah, anything with Quark has got to be hilarious.
It's going to be fun. Lust's Latinum Lost and Found. Love the title.
I wonder how much it involves Ro.
Well, I'm sure that's probably the lust part.
Yeah.
Well, here's the synopsis. Business is down at Quark's Public House, Cafe, Gaming Emporium, Holosuite Arcade, and Ferengi Embassy to Bajor. Way down. Lower level of hell down. The station is bustling, but residents and visitors are spending more time and latinum at new Deep Space Nine's park, sports field, theater, swimming complex, and who knows what else than they are at Quark's establishment. All of Quark's misfortunes could be reversed, however, when he finds out that one of the steamiest holo novels to hit the Alpha Quadrant in years is up for grabs, and he has the inroad to acquiring it before anyone else. Or does he?
Oh my God.
What's the final paragraph?
That's even more funny.
Or does he?
No, just before that.
And he has the inroad to acquiring it before anyone else.
Oh, God.
Or does he?
Now, that does sound like a lot of fun. Oh, man.
Yeah, what a riot. Love it. So it'll be up for sale. E-Novello costs $2.99 in the United States, $3.99 in Canada. You can head over to Amazon.com to pre-order it now, if that's where you pick up your e-novels. Or I'm sure you can probably pre-order it with iBooks as well if you're an
Kobo
iTunes
doesn't
person.
do pre-orders for some strange reason, which is disappointing, but hey.
And don't forget to use the links for Amazon from the G&T website.
That's right. Good.
Cool.
See, now we're supposed to be talking about books.
Books. They're these bound things with paper and words.
I've heard tales of the dead tree format, but I don't believe them. No, you're wrong. They're this thing that you put on your Kindle.
Amazon, ebook. If you haven't bought it, I will cunt punch you. That's a great line.
It's a good line.
Do you read Star Trek novels? I'm sure Swallow has some stories he could tell us.
I love big books and I can't lie.
That's one of the really good things in life. To me, as long as it's enjoyable to read.
That's a good book. Wasn't it a good book, Mike?
It was.
That's because Mackenzie Calhoun is badass.
No, it is not a Cardassian generational epic.
I was like in heaven.
It's really good.
Right on.
Terry, did you finish book 1 of Seekers yet?
No.
What was that? Did you just have a breakdown of some sort?
I told my brain, honey. I threw a huge party last night.
I wasn't invited.
I know. I was I told you I belonged to a golf league at work, and it was all the golfers. Our last league play is Monday. So we decided that we would get together and have a party before and have it on a weekend as opposed to getting together after and on a school night. We didn't want to get together, drink on a school night. So everybody said Saturday. So many people, and the last person left at 2:45, and we actually had somebody spend the night. It was great. He left at 5:30. He got up at 5:30 and walked out. So
that was, he had the Morn exit.
I just wouldn't have gone to bed.
Well, he needed to. He needed to get a few hours of sleep in. We had a good time. So that's why I'm in the condition I'm in. It has everything to do with the fact that I didn't sleep very well. At least the house
in Star Trek news, today is August 24th, and happy birthday to Jennifer Lean, also known as Cass.
Oh, cool.
Happy birthday. Yes, but Seekers 1, I have not gotten past the first chapter.
Oh, you need to. It gets so much better after that.
Oh my God. You have... David, we're sorry.
I haven't started that one just yet. I've just started
and Seekers 2 has been released. Yay!
What's it matter? You're not going to read it.
Oh, shut up.
You're going to read one chapter and then put it down.
No, I want to find out what's going on with my Sagittarius. I will.
Oh, there's a lot going on with your Sagittarius.
I love them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I've
Terry,
reading it.
Terry, hear but don't listen right now. Mike, how much would you love to see a visual representation of what the Sagittarius's engine room looked like after all those cables were pulled?
Oh my gosh, that was like totally awesome.
If they want to court-martial me, fine, but I'm taking a nap.
That sounds like fun.
You know, I love the way that they have written the Clark Terrell character, and it's such a shame knowing his outcome in Star Trek
I know. It's like shit.
Well, at least that way we know that he won't be dying
in the books,
inglorious death anytime soon.
And I'm sorry, but Katami is so kick-ass. I adore her.
There wasn't all that much of her yet, but I have a feeling we're going to see more of her in Dayton's book.
Well, yeah, because that book's about the Endeavor.
Exactly.
But when she goes verbally toe-to-toe with beep on the view screen, Mike. And tell me, are you hearing his voice and also Terrell's voice when you read it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, especially beep.
Is this where Mike inserts the tribbles?
I really love that.
Yeah.
Beep. Yeah.
That's
just
cute.
totally awesome. Totally awesome.
And his first officer, who's also beep, beep.
All right, I know. You know I'm going to read it. I just need to go back to bed.
Yes, Terry, because there's some old friends in the book.
Awesome. Just need to go to bed first.
Well, I've been a busy little reader. I have to
Excellent.
admit.
Let's talk. What's up? What did you read?
Well, since last time we spoke, I had finished reading over A Torrent Sea, which is Titan, and you told me that we were going to talk about it later. So I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Let's talk about Over A Torrent Sea. What happened? Tell me.
My least favorite Titan book.
Why is that?
Oh, I hated what they did with those two characters.
That's what I said last time. Which two characters?
My God, I was very.
I know, right? Not like there's not 1,000 characters in a Titan book.
Right.
especially that one.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Well, it's what's her face? Starts with a P. Sorry. It's this.
Pelora.
I'm still. Huh?
Who? Pelora?
Yeah, and the helmswoman.
Oh,
the aquatic.
Yeah.
The aquatic. The Pacifican.
Yes.
And
she was one of them that I kind of like felt that she was kind of a little bit out of character, and she was like pissing me off. Like, okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I to say that this, yeah. Anybody who remembers my review of this book when it came out several years ago will remember that I actually got very, very upset with Mr. Bennett about it. I was highly upset because I was sick and tired by this point. And to be honest with you, there still wasn't a lot of female characters that, in my opinion, were written very well. And Titan was making headway in that regard. Unfortunately for me, and at least in my opinion, and I still hold the opinion, and that is, what the fuck happened there? Taking a character that had potential to be something a little bit more than a complete package of female tropes into one, feeling guilty about having to have children, and then she was fucking like female emo at the end of all of this. And he took some kind of personal satisfaction and became a whole person. Her entire character was wrapped up because she fucking changed Riker's diaper. And I was pissed. It's like somehow she became a whole woman because she changed her boss's diaper. And if you read if you read the paragraph after she does it, and she takes that, it's like somehow she's okay with herself now because she got to care for her boss the way she felt she should have cared for her children.
Interesting.
And if that fucking thing never would have been written if the character was male. I'm thinking, would Riker have taken the same kind of personal satisfaction, because at this point in time in the book he's not too sure he wants to be a dad? Would he have taken the same satisfaction doing that if it was his admiral who was in the same position? Would Riker have changed his admiral's diaper and taken such personal satisfaction from it?
Probably not. What I didn't like about the way that they portrayed her was how close she came to just giving it all up, almost seemingly on a whim.
On a whim.
And it was, her career, everything that she had known, everything else she had accomplished, on the Titan, and she was just going to throw it all away.
And it was and for me, it was becoming becoming an issue because in the book beforehand, if I'm not mistaken,
I've known people in the military who have done that though, so it didn't strike me the same way.
There's a difference. I'm saying is that it might have been, I don't know. I'm not the diaper changing scene or caring for another human being. That's not what bothered me about it. It's the fact that somehow her character became whole because of it, and that's what I took. That's what I took umbrage with. I hated it so bad. I flipped out. I that was one of the few times I threw a book against the wall. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Okay.
And I think it had everything to do with, on top of it, how many times has this, even in Titan, it's the same kind of trope that came up for another female character who ended up leaving the Titan because she felt guilty about not being there for her family. And I want to say it was the little elephanty woman, the little Ariel who left because she had the kinetic or the telepathic connection with the other species, and she decided to stay behind. And kind of like, oh, okay, well, my family, I didn't get to do for them what I thought I should do, and I left them to be all prey, and I went to Starfleet, and it was a mistake, so I'm going to stay here now. It's like, oh, it's like as if Starfleet is something you just kind of go, yeah, it's a passive thing. I don't know. I was just
but in fairness, how many times have we seen Worf resign because he was unhappy?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but aren't you under an obligation for a specific amount of time, though?
For what? You're not getting paid.
Yeah, I suppose that is true.
Really, if you think about it, the way they've boxed themselves in, it's a career, but it's like a career in Boy Scouts. You're not getting paid. It's volunteer.
Yeah.
Are you signing a contract? Because what's the contract? It's not for pay.
No, but you're sworn in.
But people do depend on you for the time that.
Didn't she stay behind, if I remember, to help people that had just been through a big...
Again, because she as a person wasn't whole unless she was a caregiver. This is my issue here, people.
I took it because of the Borg devastation and everything, that she felt she could do better because she wasn't there. If I remember, I may be mixing up series and books.
I think you might be.
I thought it was
we're not talking about the Andorians.
No, didn't this one lose her family to the Borg?
No. She had an issue because she was a prey animal. And her family was prey animal, and her duty was to be a prey animal, and she left because she didn't die, and so her sister died. Was it Borg? I don't think it was Borg. And again, it was like, oh, I lived. I have survivor's guilt. I need to go be a caregiver and do something, and then I'll become a whole person. I'll be a better woman because of it, and that's what pissed me off.
I thought she left because she was uncomfortable that there were so many hunters on the ship.
Yeah.
No, she left to go help other people that she felt more right. She's like, oh, look, a whole bunch of other victims just like me. I'll go be this. And I don't know. I hated it.
I don't think
what
she
other
saw
female
herself
characters
as a
are there? There's Christine, which is great, but how did they messed with Christine at the beginning too by having that whole weird shit with Riker at the very beginning? What the fuck was that about?
That was Dave.
What the fuck was that about? Just saying. So thereby once again putting like, oh. All right. Either way, it's getting better. It got better.
Well, wait a minute, though. You say they're doing the same thing with Picard as he struggles with, does he even want to stay in anymore? Yeah, but people go through this. People do go through this. What do you want, Gene Roddenberry, no personal conflict?
Does Picard have a problem feeling like he isn't a whole man?
Well, it definitely came across with lots of times in Cold Equations.
Yeah.
No, that's not the same. He doesn't feel like somehow he's more of a man. His masculinity is never called into question here, as if he isn't a good man by being manly or being, butch.
Well, hold on.
This is how it's coming out. Is like to be a woman means to be a whole woman. These writers are saying to be a whole woman, you must be a caregiver, and it's okay to give up your career in order to do so, and you'll be a better woman because of it. Both of these characters came out and said, "I'll feel like a better woman. I will be doing my womanly duty by being a caregiver. I am now a much better woman because I changed Riker's diaper."
But when you're talking about the other one, I felt that she was so uncomfortable being around people who were so deceptive, different than her, that's why she left. It had everything to do with her level of, like, the Dr. Reed doesn't care. he's re-rific, you know. But for her, it was an entirely, it was being, I hate to use this analogy, but the only black person on an all-white ship.
I didn't get that from her. I saw her as leaving as I can't
because
do
you're
this.
looking for victims.
You're so funny. No, that's the only thing we get.
Okay, so
another female character is the IT woman, right? She
Hold
hates
on.
How's
That's
that
the
for
only
a
thing we
trophy?
get. So aside from one paragraph with Christine over all of these books, going all the way back to
You're right. I shouldn't have said that. I love Christine, and thank goodness that she was she did get written better after the first book.
And if we're going to go across the books, Katami?
No, we're not going across the books. I was specifically talking about Titan, and that's when I started to really love the way that women were written within Vanguard. How many times did I go back to David and to Dayton and to Kevin and say thank you very much for writing women as if they were fucking in Starfleet. Thank you. It's great. I don't have to worry about the women in Vanguard because they're not written stereotypically. They're not written as if somehow their femininity will be okay. Let's face it. Are any of them psychologists or doctors? No, they're all in fucking Starfleet. They're all doing their jobs. That's why I like the way that Christine Vale's written after the first book of Titan. And to be honest with you, Troy got better.
That was in Destiny.
It was in Destiny, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
that's why my brain. Well, my brain.
It's because it was when. Yeah, because it was when Troy. I was going to say Roy. When Troy. Wow, I'm tired too. It's when Troy was in the past with the Kaliar, she was trapped with the Kaliar.
Right.
And you know how much I disliked that little but
that was so bad.
It was also two people under the most extreme duress. I mean, you've got the invasion, you've got his wife is missing. So I kind of just chalked it up to, look, I've seen some people do some things far worse than that. So it bothered me just because I didn't want it to ever come up again. You know what I mean? As if I was better by the end of the trilogy because it was obviously a one-time short, 10-second thing if it was real time that, so that didn't bother me towards the end because it was just two people in an extremely
and thereby, whatever, and thereby,
and Riker was doing the same thing.
Yeah, but
so
he didn't get called out on it, did it? It was like, oh, women have to bitch at each other. No, she should have fucking gone in and kicked him in the balls. Troy shouldn't have gone after Vale. She should have gone after Riker. He went to Vale though and said, don't try and pick up on my husband again.
That's what women do.
No,
I see it every day.
My question is aren't they supposed to be better by this point in time?
No, they're still human. And this is where you and I diverge. Human nature is human nature.
Yeah. And Betazoids shouldn't give a shit.
She's half human. She's half human.
Well,
And Sela shouldn't fail as much as she does then. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Well, I was also going to try to steer us in a different direction by saying
that... we got a good thing going here.
Well, I also read Synthesis. So staying on the...
yeah.
Titan thing, but...
Wow, you were really floating with the Titan.
I read 2 Titan books, and then I jumped around to a couple other things. So there's still a lot more to talk about. So
speaking of Titan, Mike, after you say about Synthesis, after we talk about that, write this down, Luna class. So because there's something, write it down. Otherwise, I'll forget. Okay, Synthesis.
Yeah, Synthesis.
Worst cover ever.
Yes, it was. But it was a kick-ass story.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Love Synthesis. Synthesis.
It was a lot of fun, and I was sad that it was over.
Me too.
So, very well done, Mr. Swallow.
Yeah,
so,
James
that was
gets
awesome.
it. Mr. Swallow gets it. I really loved that book a lot, and again because the characters were focused on something that was unique in a story. We get to meet somebody new who's very unique.
Oh yeah.
In Star Trek, which I love, and
a familiar face. But with wow.
Yeah, exactly. Very
a new form of life.
I really like the fact that the one thing about Titan books that you don't do is Titan books allow the authors to really play with that unique kind of, what Nick and I are actually trying to talk about too is it's not just a man-woman thing, but species versus species. And it really pops its head up. It starts to really kind of, from the very first book, Titan has a lot of great conflict of different types of species trying to live together on a boat, really. And Synthesis brings it all in together because it allows them the freedom to really talk about some of the issues that were brought up in TNG and Measure of a Man, and what is it that makes somebody sentient?
Yeah.
What is sentience? And
because I'm racking my brain here, so forgive me, because again, this is part of why I didn't read Trek books for a little bit and went on to read some other stuff, because I started to jumble things in my head.
Yeah.
Synthesis is the introduction of white blue, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole
and
idea
the weirdest
of singularity.
anomaly ever.
What was that, Mikey?
Yeah, well, it also, brings about the idea of the singularity, the point where AI not only becomes sentient, but is able to reproduce itself, to create a new generation of itself. And we actually got to see that happen in this book, and it was just, wow, that's chills.
Have either of you, have any of the three of you read Watchmen, read the graphic novel?
No, I can't.
No, I haven't.
Communists, all of you.
Yeah, I'm not one for supporting anybody who, me.
Here we go. What? No. Why, Alan Moore? Why do you not want to support him?
What? Any character? I'm not a big, me, I'm not a big anti-hero person. Somebody who commits violence, especially against women, and I'm supposed to somehow think he's an okay guy at the end of it? No, I don't.
No, there's no way in hell that you come away with that thinking he's an okay guy.
No, but I don't want to have to sit there and watch it. No, I don't. No, I don't waste my energy watching negativity like that.
Oh my God.
I don't. You know me. Dude, why can't you just be good people? I said it. I like watching
because
good
people are scum.
No,
this is where we get their shit. Yes, people are shit.
You remember the elevator, don't you?
Yeah, but guess what?
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
So was I a bad person?
Maybe the greatest thing you've ever said on the show, Steve.
Was I a bad person for separating them out?
No, I'm the asshole in the elevator.
So I'm a good person.
Exactly.
All right.
But
so
that shouldn't prevent us from trying to be good
and
trying to hope and work towards improving ourselves.
And what do you think the new generation and the Watchmen were doing?
I don't know because I don't
because you haven't read it. Exactly. So you're basically doing what you do. There was a guy.
You're doing what you do.
There was a guy on a friend of mine's Facebook page. She was talking about the X-Files.
Turn into a discussion about Watchmen. We're talking about Star Trek.
Because the anomaly reminded me so much of the monster that shows up in the end of Watchmen. Except the anomaly is on a much, 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 much grander scale.
Oh yeah, this thing was.
Do you remember the episode of Space 1999, Terry, with the creature that had the tentacles and the big glowing eye? It was even on the lunchbox. That the people came out of it like burned to a crisp. You remember that?
Okay.
It freaked me out. That's what the anomaly reminded me of, except planet size.
Yeah, it was just gobbling up everything that it could, and it was kind of frightening because it was, in its own way, it was alive.
Right.
And
talk about made for animation. Though.
I tell you,
we always say that Titan was made for animation.
Totally.
That definitely.
Oh, you got a phone call.
Yeah, it was a really good book. Oh my God, it was a really good book. So definitely check that out. Moving on, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
But still talking about female characters, so kind of still on, that kick. I read Star Trek The Next Generation, Articles of the Federation. So I got to meet...
Oh, you got to meet Nan Bacco.
I did. And I can see why Nick fell in love with her.
Isn't she awesome?
She was so good. And
she didn't even have to come on to Admiral Akar to be a good person.
That's true. She did not. But what I found kind of refreshing was the whole idea that everything that she was doing, even when she was handed, all of this bad stuff, which I still don't know about yet because I still haven't gotten to Tezwa. But she was handed all of this bad stuff, and she's trying hard to do the right thing and to keep, trying to keep her nose clean despite all of the shit that's been piled on her plate.
Right.
And like I said, I found that for a politician, I found that to be refreshing.
Sorry about that.
Now you understand. I'm glad that you do. You missed it, Nick.
Yeah, that was my pharmacy for my prescription refill. Sorry.
Yo, come get your drugs.
What were you saying, Mike?
Oh, talking about Articles of the Federation. And
you get to read Articles of the Federation.
Ah.
I understand why you love her so much, or loved her.
Thank you.
Yep.
She was awesome. And I have a totally new respect for her. I mean, sadly, knowing what happens to her in the first book of The Fall, it's like,
Now you understand why we were so upset.
Yeah. Let's see. I also went back and finished reading, didn't finish. I finished the next book in the Time 2 series. I read Time to Be Born, which was kind of ended on a cliffhanger with Picard in a mental institution and Data being threatened to be torn apart, and it was like, okay. And the Enterprise's future in limbo, and it was like, what? So I went back and I read A Time to Be Born, or Time to Die.
Okay.
So I'm glad that it went it kind of it finished all that story, and I kind of but it's like still don't quite don't know where the story is going. That it's definitely moving towards something. I don't quite know. I guess I need to read more of the series. Yeah. I'm struggling with it.
The Time 2 series just for me personally, happens to be a set of books from which I will happily pick things up and say, okay, yeah, this is good. And then everything else I just kind of forget. And I say, oh, yeah, no, that's not that. I forget all that. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. They're not, to me, they're not pivotal. For me, when it comes to Star Trek books, I kind of pick up with Destiny and say, okay, there we go. There's a new start point for me. And then everything that happened before that, I think that there are certain things that happen in the Time 2 series that lend a lot to the way the characters are written now, which is why they're kind of important to be read. Especially for Riker, because what happens at Tesla for Riker blends a lot to his character, and I love the way that he's written after Destiny based on what happens to him at Tesla. So,
and I can kind of see with this book how he's coming into his own, how he can. He's been given command of the Enterprise while Picard is dealing with his shit, and so I can kind of see how he kind of evolves into that captain, which I found interesting. I liked the way that they kind of wrapped up this story. The threat in these two books, I found very, very interesting.
Oh, it gets better, Mike.
Okay, right on.
It gets crazy good, I thought.
Yeah,
right on.
Again, it takes a bit of warming up.
It started like a new series. It really did. It had to establish a lot of things, and I felt bad for the author of the first two books because it really had to set up a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
but by the time you get to Keith's book, dear God.
Yeah. And Keith's is the last one that they did in the series. Okay.
It's the 9th book.
So, right on. Like I said, it was interesting.
Yeah, what you're looking at with that, I look at it as almost a season of a TV series.
Okay.
So think of it as you just saw like the first 2 episodes, or the first, 4 episodes, because if it's 9 books, 9 times 4, 8 times 4.
Close. If it was, if each book was 2 episodes,
Yeah.
And go ahead, Mike.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to change the subject again.
No, so again, the Time 2 books are definitely worth the read. Trust me, they are that.
Yeah, and there's definitely things that I'm picking up in it that it really is filling in a lot of blanks. How some of these characters are getting to their point. I mean.
And this is where Christine was introduced.
Yeah, and it isn't somewhere along the line where we start seeing the relationship between Picard and Crusher kind of sort of picking up.
It does.
When does death and
I'm trying to figure out where that thing happened
in a separate book.
Oh, a separate book.
I think he's right though, because this is when she starts to look at leaving the ship too. Because remember, this was setting up her talking about in Nemesis
of her going to
Starfleet Medical.
Starfleet Medical.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the series, and I'm going to keep reading it as the need hits me. Because I love my Trek, and I love all Trek, so I try to get a variety in. So as I've said, I've read Seekers. We talked a little bit about that this morning. So I'm looking forward to Seekers 2. But right now I'm reading Star Trek Enterprise. The book is The Good That Men Do.
The Good Men Do. Excellent.
Yeah. So, like I said, I like a variety. So I tend to jump around, but that's because I love all tracks. So a little bit of this, a sprinkling of that, here in a little while I'm going to go back to DS9 and probably after this book or after the next one.
Now, are you already? Where are you in the Good That Men Do?
I'm over halfway. I'm about 55%, I would say.
How do you like the way that the characters are written?
So far, I like the way that they kind of sort of retconned the whole final episode of Enterprise thing. Yeah. I'm liking that much, much better. I'm definitely hearing Trip, and I'm hearing T'Pol and Archer, which is good. When they speak, I'm picking up moments. Shran definitely sounds like Shran. For the most part, I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the way everything is kind of sort of going along.
Speaking of Titan, as we had a nice discussion there with Titan ongoing. As a quick aside, the ships that you get in the mail every month, they're only doing canon ships.
Right.
Oh.
Well, Sean has said that if they get enough people to comment and to request it, there's the possibility they could do the Luna class.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
So,
do you have a link that we can?
I saw him post it to somebody on Facebook, I'd have to troll his Facebook page. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is Stowe considered canon or just the Enterprise F?
The Enterprise F, I think they said, is canon. Some Stowe events are kind of pick and choose, from what I understand.
Dayton's head's exploding right now.
I know. I was just gonna say Dayton's head's exploding.
But no, in the context of canon, this does mean something because it could get Sean some more recognition and money for the Luna. Because the Luna class is in but the Luna is a CBS property because it's in the books.
Yes.
I guess it depends on what the people at Eagle Moss consider canon.
Yeah.
The Enterprise F isn't part of their lineup, is it?
No.
Right, and that is canon, correct?
Well,
CBS has said that's the official.
It depends on what you want, to include.
Well, no, but didn't CBS say that is?
No.
Yeah,
CBS has never said that.
Yes, they
did.
I
was under the impression that they had. I remember seeing an article on Star Trek Com where they kind of said, said officially, that this thing
the Odyssey is the Enterprise. Yeah,
the Odyssey is recognized as the Enterprise F.
Yeah, by CBS.
But again,
I don't know. Are they going to make the Vesta? It's the same thing. The Vesta was only created for the book.
Another ship I would love to see, created for the Eagle Moss.
Speaking of which, I've seen a lot of people flying that in the game. For
a
long time, I didn't see it, and it seems like a bunch more people have picked it up.
I think a lot of the engineers are finally beginning to. Or is it science?
I think the science people.
I think the science people are beginning to really find a way to make it work right for them.
Well, I gotta say, since this conversation's kind of transitioned to Stowe,
I want to play Star Trek Online.
Engineering here. Warp engines are online.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage. Your ship.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Your crew.
Move out.
Your destiny.
Since I've been playing all my alts.
And by the way, Steve, you can pop in anytime here, hon.
Yeah.
We know you're there.
Since I've been playing all my alts, Dab Mac in the USS Kerrad, named, of course, after Keith DeCanado, is a Nebula class. And I absolutely love flying that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to taking him through the Dyson stuff and putting him into the Science Destroyer.
Oh.
Because he's already pretty powerful. Well, see, the only problem I have with this ship is it's only got a lieutenant tactical station. That's the only tactical station. Now, it's got a lieutenant commander universal, but I put an engineer in that because otherwise I'd have no shields and stuff. So, but I only fire one torpedo at a time. I don't have any kind of torpedo spread or anything.
Right.
Which kind of sucks when you're only la 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 ding. You're just firing them off like that. But you make up for it with Tychon's Rift and all of that stuff. You have other stuff you can do. And in getting marks, it's been fun to see flying as a science officer, the difference that one science ship can make with 2 tachs and 2 engineers, or 3 tachs and 1 engineer, just the total difference it can make.
Yep, I don't disagree. Now, Mike, you were talking about, I think there's
I'm
the
sorry,
difference.
Mike. I felt that was a good chance to talk about the Luna thing because of Titan. Yeah, so I'm going to try and find that while you're talking.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be, I think it would be left up to what the company considers to be canon. Now, if they're going to say it's only things that appeared in the movies or in television, then that's their definition.
There's a lot of ships that we'll never see.
Right, exactly. But if they get to a point where they need more designs, they might broaden that.
Yeah, just like
definition.
What Stowe has done. They eventually, after they used up a lot of the major canon ones, after a while they started hitting up some of the alternatives. So, which is cool. All right. Well, we had asked. Let's move along to our final book of the show. The reason why we asked Steve to come join us, and sorry, Steve, that it's taken us this long to get to this point. Welcome, by the way. But we are going to be talking about Star Trek Typhon Pact. Am I correct? Help me here. Help me.
Book 1?
Yes. That was so desperate.
Zero-sum game?
Help me.
Zero-sum game. Yes. Steve's still with us? Did I scare him away?
Oh, no.
Steve. Oh, he's on mute. You probably had to step away for a second.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we for the book club, we had read Zero-Sum Game, which was a Bashir story.
It kind of what starts off everything with where he's at now.
Oh,
too.
Yeah. I mean, in it, we definitely figure out the fact that Section 31 wants him, and that his on and off again girlfriend, what's her name? Serena. Thank you. She's now working for Starfleet Security, Starfleet Intelligence, and Section 31. I mean, come on. Wow. That girl's one busy gal.
Yep.
And her ultimate assignment, her assignment, essentially, what is it with Section 31 putting women into relationships with men, trying to manipulate them into doing what Section 31 wants them to do?
That's a good question.
Because it's happened to Harry Kim in the Voyager series, in the early novels that I've read. And now it's happening again.
Although I have to say, the very first time that Bashir tries to get, or they try to rope Bashir in, is in Deep Space Nine during the show, and it's a guy.
True, and that didn't work. So, they're changing their strategy, but nonetheless, it's a tactic that they keep seeming to go to, And like I said, they used it on Harry Kim, they weren't trying to get Harry into it, but they were keeping tabs on him, so to speak. And then now with the Bashir, they're trying to actually get him into Section 31 by having her manipulate him a little bit. And it's like that part I didn't quite like so much. But I'm well rested, so I'm talking a lot. So forgive me.
This is great. No, and I'm flipping through the book now, so I'm reminding myself again.
But in this episode, we got to see Ring Society, which my God, I love.
Isn't it interesting?
Very
interesting. I love the way that the Breen are written. I really do.
I mean, it's like politically correctness pushed to the extreme,
right?
Because in politically correctness, you don't do anything to offend anyone. You are all on equal ground, And what is more politically correct than becoming faceless mobs? Putting on helmets and becoming exactly the same as everyone else. I mean, the loss of personal freedoms, or I'm trying not to, but
I know you're not trying to give anything away, but you know how we are when we talk about books. When we're talking about books, there's spoilers, and we lost Midnight. Where poor Steve? Where'd he go?
I know. I feel bad. We kept him waiting so long. He probably took a nap.
I wouldn't say though that they're all unequal, because they have one of the worst caste systems.
They do have a caste system, but
which is weird on top of it too.
Yeah.
But the general population, I mean, everyone is a faceless mob. They're all a citizen. So it just kind of sort of. But like I said, it was very interesting seeing piecing their society, how they live, how they, because they've always been an enigma. We've never really known anything about them except what that little bit that we saw during the Dominion War, and even that, there was still this big question mark. And here we finally get to see them. We finally get to know a little bit more, and they're nothing like I expected.
Oh, he did put a note in the chat room. He did say he had to break away for a family thing. Be back. Okay. He said he'd be back in a few minutes. So
okay.
And we also need to talk to Steve about Destination Star Trek London.
So when he comes back, we'll just that.
We'll definitely talk about that. But
well, and we also have some kind of show news. Terry, did you see the emails that we got from Eve at Farragut?
Yes.
Yay.
Farragut Fest.
My favorite Star Trek Christmas elf.
Well, the kind of getting back to zero sum game. Why? I guess my first question for us to answer for people who have not yet picked up Typhon Pact. Why should people pick up what is it about this first book that will get them into the rest of the Typhon Pact series?
It's a David Mack book. What more do you need?
It is. Yeah, seriously. It's good.
Well, the not only are there bringing, but there's the whole. It's showing where the slipstream drive not came from, but how it was developed and how important it is to the whole quadrant. Essentially, it's the game changer, and how important it is for the other powers in the quadrant to get their hands on it. And the whole idea is, I guess, of the book is the extremes that, in this case, Section 31 is willing to go to protect that technology from falling into the hands of the Typhon Pact, of other not necessarily friendly races.
Right.
Because the Typhon Pact, there's the Romulans, there's the Breen, there's the Gorn, there's and
Sasha.
Yeah,
and love them.
And although the Typhon Pact, although they're kind of working together, they're not as stable as they want everyone else to see, or wants everyone else to believe. There's still a lot of bickering going on with this group.
Well,
and a lot
that's
of them,
no different than something like NATO.
True, but they're trying to position.
They're trying to be a counterbalance to the Federation.
Yeah, and within their ranks, their individual species are trying to position themselves, because Romulans are at the top of the food chain.
I was going to say, who's the glue? Ironically, it's the Romulans.
I don't think it's the Romulans, to be honest with you. I think the Romulans are the weight. I think the Tholians are the glue.
No, because they've said several times during that series.
Huh?
Several times they've said that the Romulans are the ones that are holding it together.
I think the Tholians, I think they're a little too indifferent to be the top. The Romulans are the ones that are.
I'm not. I think
the Romulans are doing it because of the Vanguard sector. Their long memory.
The Tholians, you mean?
I mean, yeah, the Tholians are doing it. The
whole
long memory.
They're definitely in on. They're definitely in on this and that's the one thing about the Typhon Pact. It doesn't matter which species. They're all kind of doing this not out of some sense of needing to feel like they need to do something for another species. They're doing it because it's best for themselves at that point. So it's a bunch of very egotistical, self-serving groups here that have banded together not because they want to,
but because they have to.
They have to, and
that's where I think the Romulans are the leaders, because they probably have the.
I don't disagree.
The biggest.
I'm sorry. I think maybe you misunderstood me. I didn't mean to say that the Romulans weren't the top of the food chain there, but I think when it came to the machinations of keeping everybody speaking, I thought the Tholians had a lot to do with that too, because the Tholians really want to keep this together because of what happens in the fall.
Yeah, the long view.
Well, I don't recall seeing Tholians in this particular episode, and a lot of some of the other races of the Typhon Pact, I don't recall seeing from this episode or from this book, but I do know, the Romulans, the Breen. I think there was even some mention of the Gorn being involved.
Wait till we get to the Gorn books.
Trust me, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the way I like the way that the Typhon Pact books are written, because not unlike other series that we've seen since Destiny has come out, where it's another series of books where you follow a group of people, like one book. Like here we follow the Aventine with Ezri, but you also happen to get a touch of Breen society. Then you're going to follow another couple of books with, I believe it's the Enterprise who deals with the Romulans. There's 2 books in that one, Nick?
Yeah.
And then Titan deals with the Gorn, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
The whole egg thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the Titan.
So the Titan deals with the Gorn. So not only are you getting, your book about your Titan crew, but you're getting they're getting the specific species of the Typhon Pact kind of addressed. So you get to learn a little bit more about these species, these enemies that you don't really know about from the television show because you never really get that information. You just know that they're the bad guys.
Right on.
The books are giving you a lot of background as to each one of these species that you don't know so much about. That's what I like. Like you hear in the Breen and what you get from the Breen in Zero Sum Game, you're going to see from other species in Typhon Pact as you move forward. So they're very, very cool. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some of the other books then.
Yeah, I think you'll really like. I loved the Gorn ones. I thought those were fascinating. Talk about a unique and another very interesting kind of take. And to see them kind of juxtaposed against the Breen, the Gorn also have a very unique caste system that you'll get to read about. It's very interesting.
So many books, so little time.
I know. I know. God, I have to start Seekers again. I promise, David, I will.
Yeah, I'm hoping to start up the Seekers 2 soon, so I just need to buy it.
Oh.
So, Zero Sum Game, I really enjoyed the book. Definitely recommend it. I mean, you're going to see, not only does it kind of kick off the series, it shows the importance that Slipstream has for the quadrant. It shows the Breen, the Breen. It's got the Aventine. I mean, what's not to love about Esri as captain? She kicks ass. And then having her and Julian, their relationship has become very interesting. Somewhat strained, not really sure where they stand. And he's got, Serena. And it's like, I don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, oh man, this can't be good. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool.
So check it out.
Definitely.
And too bad Midnight Shadow isn't here to share it with
I
his
know.
thoughts.
Stevie, we tried, honey. It figures. Well, what announcements do we have, my dear?
Good question. Let's see. I'm trying to think. We've got an interview coming up soon. Nick knows about the Nemesis Studio.
Yes.
His friends there. Nick, can you tell us a little bit about Farragut Fest? There was some discussion about that in email. What can you tell us about Farragut?
Shall we just start right off the bat with a Las Vegas update?
Are we still talking Vegas, right?
We are.
Vegas.
Yes.
You're coming to Vegas, right?
Star Trek Las Vegas may take place every August, but on this show...
This is where we hang out the rest of the year.
Exactly.
The crew has been fatigued now from so many months in space, and they need to take a break. The landing party has been down to check out the terrain while the crew gets ready to play. They say there's only plant life living on this lovely rock, but a rodent appears wearing a vest.
It's a fest of Farraguts.
Oh my God.
It's Farragut. You know Star Trek Farragut, the fan-made production, who also works with them. Correct, Terry?
Yes, continues.
Yes.
Does
uses their sets.
Yes.
Well, they're going to have what's called Farragut Fest, and it's basically, Terry, how would you describe it? As an open house?
Yeah.
Onto the
I
sets.
think that's a pretty good thing, yeah. We're December 6th and 7th in Kingsland, Georgia. Farragut Fest 2014, I'll even put the link in the chat room, is going to be held.
And
if you happen to live in the area or around, and you'll have the opportunity to meet everybody who does and works with Farragut, but also kind of get a look at but it's like a mini convention.
Yeah, and they invited us to be there, and actually, if one of us can make it, to do our show from like the set.
Oh wow! Now that would have to be a video day.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can make it, Nick, awesome. Bring Janice and have her be your videographer. are.
But we're excited to have been asked.
Yeah,
so
and
hopefully
Eve
we'll be able to work it out.
She's so sweet. And Mike, when she told me who she had been in Star Trek Vegas 2013, do you remember the woman walking around cosplaying as Imress?
Oh, yeah!
That was Eve.
Sweet.
That was my reaction.
I know
too.
who you're
When
talking
she said
about.
that, I was like, wait a minute, that was you? And then Janice realized, oh my God, I had been hanging around with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That was a great costume.
And they were those two people were even. And Terry, do you remember his name? The guy that dresses like Riker, because you were so busy sweating over the beard.
He did look good in it. Just saying.
He did.
He did look good
Dan.
for Riker.
Yeah. What about him?
I can't remember his name.
Dan.
Dan. Yeah, Dan. So yeah, it was. They're very cool people. Very cool people, and they invited us. So I'm definitely going to try and make that happen.
Awesome. And you've got Baltimore Comic Con coming up soon.
September 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Any new announcements there?
I don't know. Let me check.
Well, I would like to draw attention to the chat room real quick. Hi, Jen Usellis. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. She, the Klingon Pop Warrior Music Project, a lovely young lady behind that project. She has decided to stop by and say hello. So, hi, Jen.
Nice to meet you. Nice
welcome.
to see you.
Why'd you have to go Klingon? Why didn't you go to a real species like the Romulans?
Careful, she's
That's her language. And she knows how to use it.
Please.
So,
I didn't realize. Oh, that's cool. There's actually a Legend of Zelda unofficial production. That's fun. Called Legend of Zelda Oblivion Rising. Love that. Cool.
Oh, interesting.
That's on the Farragut page. FarragutNetwork.com, everybody, by the way, if you need to. Well, they've been around forever.
Oh, don't glare at me. Don't glare at me, you. I'll just, you know what? I'm cloaked. Can't glare.
I take it he's talking to somebody in the chat room.
Yeah, Jen. She said glare. You know what it is? You know why? I think the Romulans are just too cool. I think that's the problem. Anybody can be a Klingon. Frat boys are Klingons, if you think about it. They get drunk and they put their heads through walls. That's what they do.
He has a point. It's kind of cute. Brewskis.
Mike.
Seriously, instead of it's blood wine, it's brewskis, right?
Right.
Brewskis.
I thought one of the things that the Seeker did really well, the Klingon scientist, in his view of the warrior cast versus everybody else, I loved that.
Yeah,
I loved the way Dave kind of put that in there. Terry, this is no spoiler. The scientist is thinking how out of proportion the warrior cast and their quote victories and honor are compared to everybody else who makes things go.
It's true. I mean, the ones with the loudest, makes the one that makes the most noise, the whole squeaky wheel thing, and
believe me, I see this in the Army all the time. All the infantry guys who are like, "We're the shit, nobody's greater than us." Okay, then let's have all the logisticians take the entire time you're in the field off and see how long you last.
You can't. An army does not survive on without the farmers, without everything else. All the logistics, everything that keeps it on its feet.
And I don't. You know what? I don't blame the original series for that as much as I do Next Generation.
Yeah.
Well, yes,
that came from Next Generation.
It did, but you have to also keep in mind that over time the Empire has been, I don't want to say it's been corrupt, but it's been overtaken by the military cast.
No, but what I'm saying, Mike, is that view of them came from Next Generation.
Yes, I'm not disputing that. Yeah.
And it does do a disservice to the Klingons, whereas they could. I think what they were going for was kind of like wanting that society where they're held in the highest of esteem, but what they wound up writing it as is they were the only ones that mattered. And there's a big difference between being held in the highest esteem and being held as the only ones that matter.
Well, that's the corruption. And I think that's one of the things that we started to see Martok deal with in the books, is that, he was going back and trying to bring honor back to the Empire, trying to bring it back to something a little more,
Mike, I think you could even go to Deep Space Nine, because remember, he showed a respect for Nog, of all people.
Yeah.
And Rom and those guys that could do stuff. And that's, I think, part of the joy of Martok is Martok's got kind of he's definitely a proud warrior. I'm not saying he's not at all, but he appreciates anyone who can bring something to help.
He understands the importance of cooperation, teamwork, work, not just being so Klingon-centric. He understands that the Empire has to evolve in order to survive.
Here's how I see Martok. Martok would enjoy what a PSYOPs or an engineer or a civil affairs or a public affairs can do, whereas Galron would be like, I'm a Marine, you know?
I would love it if Keith R.A. DeCandido decided to write a Articles of the Federation type book based on Martok.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I want that now.
I just orgasmed.
Oh, God.
Sorry, it's a bit messy over here.
Klingon goo everywhere. While Mike's cleaning up, let me answer Terry's question. A couple of things for Baltimore Comic Con. 2014 Baltimore Comic Con /stylinonline.com costume contest is September 7th. That's Sunday. Best overall costume, $2,000 grand prize in cash.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I like the way that they do this. They tell you prizes in each of the streamlined adult men and adult women's, $150 Stylin Online gift certificate for first place. Group costume, $200 stylinonline.com gift certificate for first place. So they tell you it's not cash. That's... Oh, and each winner will also receive a free admittance to Baltimore Comic Con 2015. That's cool.
That is cool.
Let's see. Harvey Awards dinner and awards ceremony tickets are now on sale. On Saturday night, September 6th, the comic book industry, including professionals, retailers, and fans, will gather at the Hyatt Regency Baltimore to honor the 2014 Harvey Award nominees for 2013 comic work. Cool. Tickets are, tickets to the event, which includes full cocktail hour, cash bar, full service dinner featuring Baltimore crab cake, award ceremony, and a gift bag are now available for $125. Go to baltimorecomiccon.com/tickets. The host is Michael Uslan. He's won Emmy Awards, Oscars, People Choice Awards, and the Annie Awards. And
wow,
yeah, he's executive producer on a number of comic adaptations to film and DVD. Oh, including Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Returns, and the Lego Movie.
How fun!
Right on.
God, I wish I had $125. Actually, it'd be $250. And the Dick Giordano Humanitarian of the Year Award will also be presented at the Harvey Awards. Nice. Giordano, who passed away in early 2010, was part of Heroes Initiative Board of Directors. He's a legendary artist and guiding force at Charlton Comics and DC Comics. So those will all be done then. Excellent. So it's gonna be. I'm very excited. This is my first time going to this Baltimore Comic Con. 12 days and 2 hours.
Right on. I hope you have a good time and are able to find some good stuff to bring back and talk about with us.
Speaking of which, did you guys discuss last week the change in date for Shoreleave, or was that this week that it happened?
No, we need to discuss that. Last week we were hoping that they were going to be separate weekends, and now to come to find out, they're not.
They moved.
I think they moved in response to what Creation had done last year, not realizing that Creation was...
No, I don't know. I don't. Why would they? Why? I don't understand.
Why would they go up against? Yeah.
Right. Why would they put themselves in a position of having less attendees?
Well, I don't think it was on purpose. I think what they were doing, what Shoreleave had done, was they were responding to what Creation had done last year, not realizing that Creation was coming back or was choosing to come back. If Shoreleave had stayed right where it was, there would have not have been a conflict. But because Creation had changed this year, they decided that they were going to change, not realizing that I'm just so confused.
Well, unfortunately, that kind of puts the kibosh on us attending Shoreleave. We'll be doing I want to make sure like I said, it's putting us in a weird position of having to choose which convention to attend. And I would hate to miss Vegas, and we already have people planning on coming out again next year. So, there you go.
Okay, so the plan is Vegas.
It's Vegas, yeah. It's just, it sucks because I really wanted to cover Shoreleave that next year. I wanted to be able to do both, but it's not going to happen.
I know. I really would have loved to be able to go to Shoreleave and have all that coverage, all that time with the authors, and getting to know them and talking to them and asking questions about their books and the wonderful stuff they've been doing. Because without them, we wouldn't have any new Trek to talk about. And because of them, at least once a month we have new Trek, if not more often, with some of the concurrent ebooks.
Very true.
So, we love them. Please keep doing what you do, authors. We appreciate you.
Wait a minute. P.F. Dennis got tickets to see Jeffrey Combs in Nevermore.
Yeah.
In Somerville on
Massachusetts.
Halloween.
Yeah.
On Halloween.
I'm taking vacation for my birthday. I may have to get tickets.
Oh my God, I want to go.
How much would Janice love that?
It's amazing. Oh crap, I want to go. That'd be amazing. Oh well. All right, everybody.
Wow. Jen's. Never mind. I won't say because Terry will yell at me.
Okay.
Jen's hot. Klingon pop chick is hot.
Oh yes, she is.
See, it's even more of a waste.
Hey.
I like it when Mike gets so defensive for the Klingons.
I know, it's cute.
Klingons are not a waste.
Right. All right, you guys, time to wrap it up.
Needs cannon fodder.
Meanwhile, here I am, Harry, being the Federation, just rolling my eyes at both of you.
Okay, yes, we need to move this along. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's been fun.
Sorry that Steve wasn't back to talk about the book. Too bad.
Or Star Trek Destination.
Right. Well, he does have an article. Mike, I'll send it to you. You can edit it.
Alrighty.
I'm just beat to hell. All right, kids, it was a great one. Thanks for joining us. Join us next week on August 31st for episode 155.
Kapla!
Joe Lantro.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5-Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
G&T show is a busy little Beaver production.
Gonna take a 5-year tour